You are going to be absolutely shocked when you see this video that I'm about to show you from the Los Angeles Teachers Union, which is called United Teachers Los Angeles. This is a meeting of teachers, part of the union. And what are they doing? They are promoting pro-Palestinian agendas and how we can teach our students these pro-Palestinian agendas without getting caught. Explicit. You have to see this video, but before you do, here's what's going on. The most vulnerable area for parents is when we send our children to school. And the reason why is because we're putting our children, we're putting their souls in the hands of the education system. And this may be hard to comprehend, but the soul of a person is actually far more important than the body, because the body is only an encasement for the soul, the spirit. If we corrupt the souls of our children, we ruin them for life. Someone gets a cut in their hand, a blemish, they're not ruined for life. But the real corruption happens when you corrupt someone from within. That's why education is so critical. That's why actually we are guided that when we put our children into an educational institution, we have to be very careful about what we're exposing them to. And the younger they are, the more critical it is to make sure they are being put into an institution that's going to educate them properly, because they're much more vulnerable. And it's like when you put a scratch in a seed, that affects the entire tree. If you put a scratch in the trunk of a tree, it's not going to affect much of what's going on there. It's the same thing. Our children are like the seeds that are just beginning to blossom. And that is why when we see incidents like this, which is not the first, it weakens our trust in the public school system. And I'm going to tell you that this is the reason why every Jewish child should be in a private day school. There's no better way to invest your money. I invest tens of thousands of dollars a year in my children's private education. You cannot compare the two. And I have security because I know that I'm putting my children in the hands of an educational system and in the hands of teachers who are committed to the same vision that I am committed to. You put them into public school, especially in recent years, there are agendas that teachers have and that the system sometimes has, which is corrupting our children. I've heard from so many parents how they've told me that I put my kids to school and they suddenly start coming home and they start telling me things that are completely diametrically opposed to what we believe. And not only that, they have an attitude as if they know much better than I do. We have to be very careful. And that's what this video actually demonstrates. And we must put a stop to this as soon as possible. Here, let's watch this video together.
And so some of the things that we can do as teachers is to organize. We just have to be really intelligent on how we do that. We have to know we're under the microscope. We have to know that Zionists and others are going to try to catch us in any way that they can to get us into trouble. So I help the students to organize. We go to those actions, and a lot of us here that have been to those actions have brought our students. Now, I don't take the students in my personal car. I have members of our organization who are not LAUSD employees. They take those students. And I just happen to be at the same place at the same time with them. It's like tomorrow I go to church and some of my students are at the church. Oh, wow, hey, how you doing? We just happen to be at the same place at the same time. And look, we just happen to be at a pro-Palestine action, same place, same time. The students, they just so happen to want to organize a teaching. And so students at our school, at your school, Manual Arts, and several high schools now have organized their own teachings where they educate they inform other students about the genocide that's taking place in Palestine. What we do as teachers, of course, is to advise, to help. Naturally, this is a topic for most of our students who's pretty new, so we can help them, but we're not going to tell them what to say. But we can help them to some research and stuff like that. That's our job as teachers, is to educate them. So how do we do all of this without getting fired? That's the million-dollar question, right? And I don't know how in the hell we have not been fired yet, because I know for sure they have tried. But we have to organize. That's the bottom line. If they come after one of us, the district has to know that it will be a bigger headache for them to try to touch one of us than it will be to just leave us alone. That's the dynamic here. They have to know that we're organized and we are going to put up a fight and they cannot get rid of us.
This is truly unbelievable. Our job is to educate children. Your job is not to dump your opinions on children. Your job is to teach them facts, to teach them science, to teach them math, to teach them English, to teach them history, facts, not opinions. No one is interested in your opinions. There's a reason why we have separation of church and state. And that's because we don't want you imposing your religion or your personal opinions about matters on our children. That's for us as parents to do. How dare you do that? How dare you? They should be fired. Teachers who do this and go behind the system to try and outsmart the system cannot be trusted. How can parents trust their children in a system where we have unions of teachers promoting this? This must be put to an end. This will lead to the collapse of our educational system. If we want our parents to trust the system, we have to have integrity. And integrity is not when we have teachers going behind our back with agendas that they are now infiltrating into the system and actually teaching this propaganda to our children.